Welcome back to the OTB podcast, the original and still the best New Zealand mountain bike podcast, brought to you by Maxxis Tyres and Fox Suspension. And it's what our guest today chooses, Maxxis and Fox. So great combo there, and stoked to have Ellie Hulsebosch back on the pod. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me back. Must have done something right the first time.
No, you're always a good chat, and it's it's good to do a few catch ups in the mid season. It's nice having this big break and having some people back in New Zealand to make the time zone easier.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a challenge, hey, trying to navigate that time zone.
Yeah, that's the battles of being down here, but that's all right. We're running just trying to get through with a low level podcast, so it's all right. It's nothing too fancy here. So last time we caught up, you just signed with the syndicate. I think we caught up in like December, so that was all very fresh, and obviously a few months have gone by now. But how's the adjustment to the syndicate been this year?
The adjustment to the syndicate's been good. I feel like, if we're being honest, hasn't really been the season that I'd hoped for. But in saying that, a lot of positives have come from it and a lot of learning. So not all bad, which is good.
I mean, at the end of the day, what you're doing now is obviously super important for you right now with your results and everything. But I couldn't tell you many people who have won junior world championships in men's or women's over the last few years. Once you get to elite, it's kind of all forgotten. But I think you're on the right pathway anyway. So, has it been? Actually, it's funny because I just did a episode with Lockie, who was your teammate last year on the Union, and he was telling me how dialed the Union was and how basically, for a small team, they still managed to pull everything together and did such an awesome job. But has it been a big change across to the syndicate with like more staff and more options, I guess, and all that sort of side?
Yeah, I feel like having more resources has been a tricky one to navigate. Obviously, you've got a lot of options to choose from and a lot of opportunity as well to test, or if you want to try something, it is there to try. So that's been a weird one, because I feel like I'm someone who's always like, oh yeah, like sure, let's just do everything. Whereas what I've kind of learned is that takes a lot of energy, so sometimes less is better. But yeah, I mean, it's a funny one because Rose did such an insane job on the Union, and so we were such a dialed team for like how much support we did have, that going over to a bigger team, it is a treat actually. At the same time, on the Union, Rose did such an insane job for the support that we did have. So big credit to her, because that's something that really stands out. But on the syndicate, you obviously do have so much resources and people, and it takes a lot off of your plate, and you can really fully just focus on what you need to do, which is quite cool. And that's opened up a lot of new learnings, I feel like, with how I want my race week to look like and what I do in my spare time. I feel like I can really be professional, even though I do just go back to the house and watch Netflix. The opportunity is there.
still just a human at the end of the day. Go and relax. Has being on like the bigger team, I mean, you came in last year and you're an underdog. It was your first season racing. You're on a smaller team, and you came in and obviously did some winning, had a really great season. Has there been pressure this year? Like, probably, I don't even think it would be external. I can't imagine the team is pressuring, but I can imagine there's some internal pressure from yourself, because I mean, I've been around you a bit, and I know you want to win everything and everywhere. So
yeah. Funny you say that, because what I'm kind of working through at the minute has just been, obviously went in to the season last year and had no idea what I could do. There was no expectation or anything, like I hadn't done anything. And so this year I kind of know what I can do, and it's been constantly trying to get a result the whole time. And there has been a lot of internal pressure. External, no.
Yeah.
The team's such great support, but yeah, internally, and the pressure that I put on myself and those expectations have been quite high, which hasn't helped. But at the same time, like, I definitely do think it's good that I care. I'd be worried if I was kind of
Yeah.
out for a stroll in the park. But yeah, just last race, Andorra, went back to the basics of literally no telemetry, no certain laps that I was going to try get in, just rode mainline with confidence, which is, I feel like, what I used to do really well. And that seemed to work instead of crashing.
It's funny because when I caught up with Sasha Ernest a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, her junior years were almost like, it's almost like a mirror. She had a really strong first year with that no expectations, but then had the support in the second year, and you can see, like, yeah, I mean, I can picture it. You all of a sudden you have these expectations, and it's hard to manage. So I guess that's good to hear. Kind of just changing it up for Andorra, because yeah, maybe that's what you need, is just a more, obviously still serious, but more relaxed.
Yeah,
Week.
and I feel like it is such a hard one to navigate, because obviously there are so many pros of going to a big team, but also at the same time you are 17 years old, still trying to make mistakes and learn while trying to grow up super quickly. So it is like a weird space mentally. But yeah, being able to have the support of the team, and obviously Lewis and Jordan helping me as well, just kind of breaking it down, and yeah, just going back to, the Kiwi roots. That's also really cool as well, is that you can do that at the same time.
Yeah. Must be quite nice having a Kiwi mechanic on board with you as well, with Liam Jackson there.
Yeah, it's good because he gets my sense of humour.
Yeah. It's just what I was talking to Lockie about yesterday, and
Yeah.
with him being on the team with Sasha, it's like, at least you've got one Kiwi that understands you.
Yeah, and it's always nice when someone else likes, the Kiwi classics, Whitakers and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. How's it? I mean, obviously you're on a pretty star-studded team in terms of what Jackson's done this year. Nina winning a World Cup. Are you, like, I could imagine probably you and Nina, you seem like you guys have got pretty close, but like, are you guys, like, are you pulling a lot of stuff from them over a race weekend? Like, maybe you're not riding the same lines as Jackson, but like, is there a lot of sharing and questions and that sort of thing going on?
Yeah, at dinner there's always at least 3 GoPro videos out. Most of the time just showing off sick whips and stuff like that. But
the important part.
Yeah. But no, the team's like super collaborative. Heaps of sharing and helping, Nina especially. When I was going through that rough stage, Nina really helped me with lines, and Andorra just doing some laps together, which was so sick. And so even Jackson and Loz, they're always there, which is so nice. But it's just a good vibe, and yeah, I do pull like little bits from them here and there, but I feel like at the same time I'm quite a unique person in how I operate in my mind, and so kind of just figuring out what I like. I got wrapped up in trying to do too much of what I should do and not enough of what is me. So
Yeah.
trying to figure that one out, because everyone's so different on the team. Jackson's like the most energetic person I've ever met.
He
and
looks like it.
Is the most chill, but they still make it work, which is sick.
Yeah, I can see how that would be hard, because you're coming in, very fresh, and you're like, right, I've got all this stuff that I can do all this testing, I can use the telemetry, whereas getting back to those basics maybe is a key at some point. But
yeah,
it looks like an awesome place to be at. They seem like they have a good time, the whole team.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, that's good. So you said it at the start, but you've had a pretty rough season in terms of what your expectations would be, and I think what we know you're even capable of. Like 2 podiums. I'm sure you were not expecting that at the start of the year. But how are you feeling about it as a whole? Like, you've had a couple of pretty rough ones with crashes and that, but do you think you're on the upswing at this point, heading into the back half of the season?
In all honesty, I think I don't think I'm shit.
No.
I think it has definitely been hard. I think it will be hard for everyone at some stage, just may look different for each person. And I think a lot of it has been bad luck. Kind of, came back from injury for the first race, and then, I think I got third, Poland.
Yeah, third at Poland.
Yeah. Which was pretty solid, considering everything. And then after that, just Ludenville, that was such a gnarly slam. I'm still having shoulder issues with that, which is great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was a big slam, and I think I just lost a lot of confidence from that.
Yeah, you've had a pretty brutal start to the year. Actually, sorry, just to go back a bit. Tell us about what happened at the start of the year. So you crashed. It was in Rotorua, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was at Nationals. It was my last practice run before qualies. I was following a friend of mine and did the big 14-meter set down, and then there's a little gap, and then there's a weird roller knuckle that you either have to pre-hop or slow down for, and quite a few people had crashed off it, but I just got ejected because I didn't pull or I didn't brake, and I just hit a tree, punga tree, which was fine, and then went head first into a redwood tree.
Oh.
And so I broke my back again.
Yeah. It's not a good way to start the year.
No. I knew immediately as well. And mum was right there. And she said to everyone that I was just being paranoid because I'd done it before.
No.
So while I was on the green whistle.
Shout out to mum.
Yeah. Got a whole bunch of videos of me telling everyone my mum thinks I'm a pussy. So that happened, and worked really hard on recovery, and got back pretty good. I didn't sit still for long. I think I was on the couch for 6 days, and then I was back in the gym doing stretching and trying to do whatever I could. So that didn't really stop me from anything, I'd say. Probably just was a bit of a funny head one with confidence. Yeah. But besides that, was going pretty good. And then, just after the crash in Ludenville, just knocked my confidence. And I think that really got to me, and then started trying to play it safe to get down. That wasn't working because I wasn't riding how I knew I could.
Which starts causing its own problems because,
exactly.
You start riding tentative and making more mistakes.
Yeah. And then going into Val di Sole, I was riding I felt unreal. Honestly, I hadn't felt like that for so long. It was had this idea that it was my track. I was I know I can go good here. Feeling confident. Practice, I was stoked on, real stoked. But just race run, just wanted it too bad. Pushed really hard. Got offline, made mistakes, and then crashed. So it's been this weird one of confidence from crashes and then pushing too hard or being too tentative. But in saying that, my splits have been really good. I feel like I've improved so much compared to where I was even 6 months ago on the bike. I've definitely made progress. It's just been very up and down. Which is quite hard to see in the moment. Coming back home, I've taken the opportunity to kind of reflect, fill up my cup, get my spark back a bit, which has been nice. But in the moment when I was overseas, Lituia was awful. I was sick. I was vomiting every morning, and I just didn't even want to race. I was so over it. I was just
when you're that too, you have no energy, and
my mindset was atrocious. I was just I've gotten so bad at riding. I was way better than rider last year. in saying that, like, I definitely wasn't. So coming home, reflecting, and just training and doing sessions with Lewis and going back to what I know and like crazy downhill laps with mates and just, all the good stuff that fills
Yeah.
up your cup.
Do the fun stuff.
It's made me definitely realise, like, I'm actually in quite a good spot. Just got to be patient, not force anything. And also goes to show what your mind can do. So heading back over, got a very good mindset now.
Yeah, and it's tough because you go from, literally 1 year ago you were going over, like with your dad, with your parents, whatever, and you're just there to find your feet, you're just loving it, you're riding your bike, you're having a good time, and then within 12 months it's now literally your job. So it's
Yeah.
like it's a big adjustment, like you say, it's 17, like that's a lot to suddenly take on.
Yeah, it is. I think, like, there's obviously a lot that goes into it, but at the same time, Dad's always like, dude, you just need to ride your bike. Not make it as deep as it can be, because I definitely overthink a lot.
Yeah.
Make things very deep. But no, it's been pretty good being home. Bit of a, reset, refresh. I think heading back over, definitely looking forward to just coming into the races with that knowledge of, like, what's already happened and using the learnings from it.
Yeah.
And knowing, like, actually to trust the process, bring the fun to the race, ride your bike and lap out, not pay attention to doing all the fancy lines, just ride stuff tapped.
Sometimes you just waste too much time and energy trying to ride a particular
Yeah.
line, and at the end of the day it's worth like 0.1 of a second or something, it's like,
for sure. And also just no expectations. I feel like I'm going over like it's 2024, just going over just to ride my bike and have fun, rather than having an objective, like having to win. Just focusing on the process first rather than the end goal, because to finish first you must finish.
Wise words. It's good to hear. It sounds like your mindset's in a good place going into the next half of the season though, which is good. How did you find the first? I mean, we're already 6 races deep, which last year that was the entire season.
Crazy.
Yeah, which is insane, and there's still another 5 races, including World Champs, to go. And like, how have you found the first block in terms of? Has it felt long? Like with that amount of races in there, or not too bad?
Weirdly enough, not too bad. But I think that's because, like, back home, you're used to having heaps of races. Like,
a lot of back-to-back weekends of national rounds and things like that.
Yeah, and I think obviously it's a more intense week and it's definitely longer, but being fit and strong's not really a weakness for me. So I haven't really struggled to recover or, like, fitness wise or anything like that. It's more just been needing a break from the strapping of my shoulders or my knee. But I enjoy it. Personally, I think you get into a zone of you're definitely in a race mindset, and the shorter breaks help you to kind of stay focused. Like, it's enough time to kind of recover, do a bit of training, but you don't get into this chill, like, vibe. You definitely know that there's a race next week, so you still work hard and do what you need to do. And I think for me, I like the back-to-back races, especially because it just gives you more opportunity to put what you've learned into practice quicker. I think it's been good. I think it also evens out the field a lot, especially with the new venues. I think it shows a lot more of a racer rather than just a good rider, which is quite cool, because obviously motocross is like that. You have to be at the very tip of the, pecking order.
you
Yeah.
got to do it across different, different tracks and different venues.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
what's been, results aside, what's been your favourite round this season? Could be track or just been a good weekend.
Val de Sol was pretty good.
Yeah,
I just felt like I was just ripping my bike. That was really sick. Andorra was also super cool. I think that was a real cool week. Just having fun again. I feel like those are the two races I've had the most fun at.
yeah,
But the other ones, I feel like I was either sick or cold or very sore.
sounds like a brutal start to the year for you.
Yeah. We've learnt stuff though, so there's positives.
Yeah, that's good to hear. So on your bike, I mean, you went from a V10 you had last year with Trek, back on a V10, but on a new V10 compared to the old one. Have you changed a lot since the start of the season, or have you stayed pretty consistent with bike setup?
Um, Weirdly enough, so we had heaps of team camps, I think like 5 in the off season. So really fine tuned in everything. Tried so much on the V10. Flipping, switch, high, low, mid, like whatever you could think of, I tried.
Yeah,
Um, and so I got a really good base setting. And even with the telemetry on, I'll either go either side of where it's at, depending on the track.
yeah.
Uh,
So you're
but
pretty damn close, like in terms of a
pretty,
base
yeah,
setting.
super close. And I can feel what the bike does without the telemetry pretty well. Hence why we decided to take it off in Andorra, was because I wasn't changing anything extremely. And we knew that either side of my settings, my base settings, was working real well. But usually I don't really change much. Unless it's steep, I'll add some height to it. But not really, which is good, which is really nice,
Yeah,
because I like that, because then I don't have to think about what the bike's doing or how it feels in certain sections. I can kind of just ride it, and if I notice anything, then I kind of just go off that. But I can just ride my bike, and it's good because I know what it's going to do exactly when I brake, and where when I'm in a rock garden, how it's going to feel like, and I don't have to get used to another bike. Or
yeah.
no?
That's a good place to be when you've got it like that sort of level of dialed and not having to, yeah, think about what you want to change or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's it's funny. I remember like syndicate wise when Bryson was on the team, and he would just like run the same setup all year, and he would just adapt to it. Whereas Greg was like constantly changing everything every run just about. It's like
yeah.
just those two ends of the extreme on the scale. So it's
I
probably a good
feel
spot
like
where you're at.
I feel like it's almost like you're in a position when you feel like you have to change the bike settings, because that's what everyone usually does. But I've kind of just learnt that, everyone's different, and actually if the bike works well for you, and that's how you ride the bike, or you, I've never really changed settings growing up, then you just get used to that, so that's how it works. But it is quite funny, like you definitely notice like you should be changing stuff,
Yeah.
but
But
unless
like you say, if it's working, then yeah,
yeah,
you shouldn't change it. Like just because you feel like you should.
yeah, if it's broke, don't fix it. That's
Yeah,
what I've learned.
yeah. Um. Oh, that's good. That sounds like you've got a pretty dialed bike. You're running a tune mass damper, aren't you? Or
I
you're on and off?
I was.
Yeah.
um yeah, I was, and then for quite a few races, it actually fell off
Oh no.
in mid race run in Leo Gang, which is pretty funny. But I haven't run it since then, which I actually have no idea why. I just
You didn't find it again. It's still on the side of the track somewhere.
found it actually, but I just forgot about it, I think.
Yeah.
I
And
do
you
like
haven't noticed
it.
it? Oh, so you do like it though?
Yeah, I do like it and I do notice it. But I quite like having a bike that's really playful and that I can move around a lot. And I like how that feels to me. But definitely does depend on the track because I have run it on certain tracks and I do like running it.
Yeah.
I just think it's probably just the type of tracks towards the end, what settings suited them the best, and I just trust Liam as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
If he puts something on, I'm like, sweet, I trust you.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I haven't ridden one myself, so I don't really have any input, but it definitely seems like the trend to be running one in 2025, that's for sure.
It definitely does work well.
What's on the cards from here? Once I think you're leaving tomorrow or something, aren't you?
Yeah, I have a 6 a.m. flight out of Auckland.
Oh, well, I'm glad we managed to squeeze this in before you leave.
Yeah, I'm off to Whistler for a bit of fun, get another race under the belt, which will be sick.
So you go there for Crankworks and
Yeah, so I'm going there. I think I'm there for just over a week, and then
nice.
I'll head to Morzine the week before Leger, and then crazy, but 2 weeks away got the first race, and then straight after that's World Champs, which is scary to say, but also so sick. But,
have you ridden at Champery?
I have. I really liked it there. I thought it's a very different track. You have to get used to it pretty quickly because it's steep and fast. But I thought it was sick. Not really what we have at all anywhere. I feel like it's one of its kind, which is quite cool because it's kind of an even playing field. But yeah, it's going to be, you're going to have to leave your mind in a jar at the top and just let go of the brakes and go.
Just grip it and rip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it kind of looks like come race-wise because, yeah, Lockie was saying that it's pretty kind of beaten down, not much dirt left on it anymore. So
it's very hard-packed and exposed. I was there the same time as Lockie and my bike has never become so loud.
Yeah.
I just was in so much pain. I remember having to just stop and just roll back down to the house because I couldn't hold on. But it was sick. It was good fun. I think it'll be a good race. It's an interesting venue. Yeah, once you're there, you're definitely in it.
Yeah, I think you were probably born the year that it first got raced in 2007.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that just was like, I didn't race that one, but that was just mayhem, that race, because it rained. And that was the infamous, like, Hill had a massive crash and still got second. And
Danny Hart winning run or no?
No, that's a few years after that one.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a World Cup, and it was just absolutely poured with rain, and people were just barely getting down the hill. And then Sam Hill qualified first by like 15 seconds or something.
I reckon it'd be good fun if it rains. We can switch it up a bit.
I think it's the second half of the season, I think, has some really good looking racing with the likes of Leger and Champery, and then like the new one at Lake Placid in the US, and Mont St. Anne's always a classic. Is there one you're particularly looking forward to? Yeah, Lenzerheide's always good. So.
Yeah, I'm quite excited for Lenzerheide. I went there for an IXS, but I didn't end up racing because there was like a storm. But I walked the track and it looks pretty cool. And I think Kiwis do pretty good there usually.
They've had some decent results there.
So I'm really excited for that one. But I'm also super excited for NSA. Obviously missed out on that one last year, but I think that'll be a pretty cool one. It looks like
it's unreal, that place.
Yeah. And some good rocks as well.
Yeah, hopefully you'll get to go karting as well because it's got like the best go-karts on the World Cup circuit just down the road. So
have to do that after the race. Could be a bit of carnage before.
Yeah, it's generally always some carnage with that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So Any goals rounding out the season? Probably a win, I imagine, is hot on the cards.
Yeah, I would love to win a World Cup. That would keep me very happy. But also, obviously, my big goal is to win World Champs, which I'm in a super good spot. I think got my spark back, cups filled up. Yeah, happy to be home and get some good training in, and got some exciting riding coming up, which is a nice warm up before it all. But yeah, I think I can do it. And
Yeah.
actually, I know I can do it. I know that if I get my process good and ride my best, I can definitely do it. So I'm super excited for Champrix.
Yeah, I think talking to Lockie, he was, like he's almost been the same this season. Like so much speed. Like you said, your speed's not an issue. It's just kind of bringing everything together, and so
Together. Yeah.
hopefully this reset mid-season will do you good coming down the backside of it. So
fingers crossed, but I have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, no, I think it's looking good for you. Any wise words or any lessons learnt from the start of the season you want to share with us before we finish up?
So many lessons learned. What have we got? Probably the biggest one I would say is just make it fun. Just do you and ride your bike and don't stress it. I think that's what I've been doing too much, is trying to force stuff. Just let it flow, because what's the saying? Rose wrote this saying last year on my mirror in my bathroom at one of the races. And where intention goes, energy flows. So that's my goal for the next half of the season, is put intention into the positive things.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. Well, it sounds like you're in a good place, and I don't want to hold you up all day on your last day back at home. So
I've got got a bike to put in the box.
Yeah, get that job done. But thanks for joining us, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season pans out, and follow you down through to Mont Saint Anne.
No, thanks for having me.
No worries at all.